In this video we're going to look at the customizing part within Thesis. So we've just installed Thesis, we've put our chosen Thesis skin on it, which is this builder skin, and it doesn't yet look like the demo did. That's because we haven't activated certain parts of it. So let's go in and do that now. First of all, because of the nature of this skin, the way it's laid out, the given design, the home page is very much an about us type page. It gives a lot of information, or has a template for a lot of information about who you are as a business. So that being the case, I'm going to change this front page displays a static page, and the front page will be the about us page. So I'll hit save changes there. Now, one of the pages we should have by default is a news page, or the blog post page, where all of the blog posts get shown. We're not going to show that on the home page. Let's create a separate page that's going to display all of the blog posts. So up the top there, I'm going to add a new page. So all I'm going to do is come in here and put news and hit publish. Then I'm going to come back to the settings reading page to define where that's going to show. So here we've got the posts page. So these are where are the blog posts going to show, which page are they going to show on. Now we're going to say they're on the news page that we've just created. Save changes. The next thing I would do, having just set that page up, is I would want it linked to from the top navigation menu. So under appearances, menus, I'll just quickly add that in. So there's the news page that we've just created. Let's add that to the menu there. So we're going to end up with a link at the top nav system with the news link. So we're back on our site's front end as it stands at the moment. On the contact page, I've just hit refresh. We've got the news link there. So if I click on home now, we've got our new design of this skin showing here, this nice layout. This is what we wanted, and we've also got the news link here to what will be the page to show the blog post. We haven't created any blog posts yet, so that's why they're not showing here on the site. So let's come back to the home page, because this is really where the guts of this are. So we've got all these nice design features. This is what we're going to look at customizing now. So if we come back to our WordPress admin area, under Thesis, there's quite a few bits to go through in here. So just like we did with the previous video showing you how to set up your site originally using WordPress and the theme, let's run down the vital parts of this left menu and talk you through it. So I've clicked on skin content here. These bits up here, let's look at these. These are things that you can basically turn on and off within each page section. Do we want to show the site title, the site tagline? Yes, we do. Post page output. On each page or post, do we want to show the author's avatar, that's the picture of the author, author's description, date, all of these bits here, do we want to show each of them? And you can literally just tick yes or no to turn them on or off. This is one of the reasons that Thesis is so powerful. It gives you all these little, I call them kind of Lego pieces. It's a bit like clipping modules together. You can decide which bits you keep, which bits you don't want to use at all. Do we want comments to show on posts? Do we want to show on pages as well? So we can turn that on or off. Usually you have them off for pages and on for posts, but it's entirely up to you. Do we want to use comment avatars and show the comment date? In the sidebar, do we want to show the sidebar itself at all? Do we want to show a text box at the top of it? Do we want to use sidebar widgets? Yes to all of those currently, so we could turn those off if we wanted to. And miscellaneous. The WP admin link, we're not going to need that. So for all of those, we just click OK, and if we've changed any things, then we need to click Save Display Options up here. After you've clicked OK to that part, you do need to click Save Display Options up there. Builder skin content here. These are what they call the boxes. These are, again, bits of Lego, if you like. A bit like a plugin, does certain things within the page, within the layout. So for instance, this one here, Builder skin front page first section. If I click into that, Thesis Builder skin first section heading content letter here. If you just look at that text, you can see if I click back to the home page itself, this is that part there. With a lot of these boxes, quite often you end up having to do a bit of trial and error and going back and forward to make sure that you're in the right place and you're changing the right part. So what I would advise you do is simply change it, tweak it to what you want, save it, and go back and have a look. So just as a for instance, I've just changed the text there for the heading and save options, boxes saved. Come back to the front page, click refresh, and that's what I've just changed it to. This is the header, that's the text, so I could change that as well. So for all of these boxes here, the content boxes, you just go into each one and tweak them. What I would suggest you do is literally one by one, go into it and figure out what it's for and where it lays out on the page, change what you need to change, and then go on to the next one, and just go box by box, clicking through and changing what you need to change. Some of them are fairly obvious. For instance, the footer attribution box, as you click into it, you can see that's the copyright section there, which right down at the bottom of the page is this part here. So just go through box by box and edit any part you want. A lot of them will have text that you don't want, so you need to change that. And obviously these images are stock images, they're not realistic, they're just there to show the demonstration. All of this text here, you'll just go in and change these, and it's within these boxes. To avoid making this video really long, I won't go through box by box and show you each of these. They are fairly intuitive, so all of these things you'll figure it out as you go along. They're rarely difficult to understand. Let's move on down. Skin design. Here's where you can completely change the color scheme within the site. So if you don't want this white background or the black section up here, you can edit the colors within that. A really nice thing within Thesis, as you click over this, it will also give you a complementary color palette. So if you've chosen a pastel green, the system will have figured out that possibly a pastel blue might go along well with that color as a complementary color. So you get other options. Whatever you choose as your primary color, it will give you a complementary color alongside it. Just underneath this color selection option, you've got these sections down here. Now these are fairly important, so it's worth looking through these just to get the overall site dimensions and site settings that you want. Site width, sidebar width. Okay, we'll leave that there. What overall font do you want within the site? So you can change your default font settings to whatever you want it to be. Headlines, what size, what font, and if you've changed anything there, remember to save design options there. Now, one thing with the header image in the left menu here, check first if there is a box specifically for the header logo, because if there is, quite often that will override the header image settings that you might put here, so just check that. In this instance we have got a header box already, which is here, header logo, so that's where we can define the logo image. So I'll just copy and paste the image URL, the web address of the actual image itself in there. Now the place to get your image URLs from is if you go to media and click on whichever image it is that you want to use. Let's just take this one here, and over here it says the URL. Click into there, then press Ctrl A on your keyboard to select everything, and then Ctrl C or right click and copy to copy it. Come out of that. So we've just copied the address of this, and now you can come back to the box itself in here, select everything and just paste that in and save options. Having done that, hit refresh. There's our new logo up there. We could go for something bigger than that up there. We'll do that now. Now actually that image is too small, I don't like it, so I'll go back to the media library here, add new, and add in a new file. Click into it, same again here, select everything, Control A, Control C to copy, come back out, and then drop this back into our logo box. Control A for everything, Control V for paste, save that. And then come back to the front, hit refresh, and this is what we've got. Now, it's not great. I've just quickly made this image here purely for demonstration purposes for this video. The color scheme is wrong. I would improve on that, but I'm just showing you how to use these different elements. So coming back here, we've got these different elements down here. Custom CSS, you very likely won't need this, but it gives you a lot of functionality. Skin editor, this is where you can clip and drop the Lego elements of your website. You can add in certain sections to change the template of how your site works. I won't go into that here because it's ever so slightly more complex, and I'd rather make this short, but you can basically drag and drop in elements that you want to add into the page. So that's skin editor. Manage skins, you can add or change your skin. Boxes, you can add other boxes if you wanted to. So that's it for this left menu here of Thesis. Let's look across the top here. It's some repetition of the left side menu. Content, the design, header image, CSS, all that's already there. This one here is not a repetition, so you've got some different elements here that you can add in: your Google Analytics connection, your Google authorship, site verification, all of these details here. You can do a favicon definition within Thesis, so let's just quickly do that. Very similar to how other things are done here. Favicon is the one we want. Add image, and there's our favicon that's been added, and now on our site it will show that. So if I just pull up the browser with it on, so you can see all of it, so you should be able to see the favicon at the top left there. From here on in, I won't do it on this video, but from here on in I would spend the next hour or two changing all of these different settings here, changing the text how I want it, maybe changing these images. I'd probably think about how could I use, to my benefit, how could I use these images, or if needs be, change them. Because some of the images are quite cool, some of the icons are quite nice, so just consider, could I keep them? If not, find a different icon and find a different image for all these different things. From now on, I would be tweaking and changing these boxes as they are in the skin content section in here for all these different boxes, because there's lots of different boxes to be changing. So it gives you a lot of functionality and a lot of ability to customize your site within these boxes and the different settings that you've got. There are some other settings up here which are fairly intuitive and fairly obvious what they're for. A 404 page is the page not found error page, so the message saying this page does not exist is an error 404. That's a technical name for it. So you can create a page in the normal create a new page way. So you create the page over here, add new page, and then in this page when you get here you can define that new page as the page to show when there's an error. So you might create a new page, add new page, call it the 404 or call it the error page, and then when you save that you come here and then you can define what is your error 404 page, rather than the default slightly ugly version that most websites or host servers create. You can create a nice looking 404 page. And also think about, if someone has found a wrong page on your site, why have they, and how could you bring them back to find what they want and to find what you want them to find. So this is where you can do that in this 404 page. So that's it. That's all we need to do for this video. I won't do the actual guts of the tweaking itself in this video because it will end up being a very, very long video itself. You can see within those boxes, within the different tweaks within Thesis, all that you can do here and all the different page settings, the menus we've been through as well. So you can now get on with creating a really nice looking site that is also really, really fast, which is good for your customers and it's good for Google. So that's the end of this video and the end of this video series. I hope it hasn't been too overly technical. Hopefully I've shown you in as much detail as is needed to make it understandable. If you've got any questions, do feel free to ask. I suggest probably the fastest thing is to simply watch each specific video again so you can find the details of what you need to know. If you really can't find it, do feel free to ask in the comments below or use the contact page to ask us for that. I hope this has been helpful, beneficial for you. I wish you the best of success with it. I'm Duncan Ritson Elliott from tutortube.com. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.